The Count seems to like chickens. That's a good sign. Anyone who likes animals can't be a bad person. The chickens seem to be quite lively. They run, they peck. You could say they're poultry in motion. The Count seems to like chickens. The chicken coop is in pretty much the same condition as the castle. Skew whiff. And the roof leaks. A shallow water bowl for the chickens. Empty. They've no use for an empty bowl. Nasty statues. I saw them from the drawbridge. They look like a mixture of a man and bat. And it's almost as if, they watch you the whole time as you approach the castle. The Count and his young fiancée met through a newspaper ad, which means someone has to fight his way through the mountains on a regular basis. Just a single sealed scroll. To Count Vladimir Orlov, the Dark Woods. Oh, hey! The seal bears the Seastone coat of arms. Neither the drawbridge nor the portcullis were able to protect Van Buren against the mages, paladins and villagers who came for him. Maybe he was no longer at the height of his power. Otherwise, a sorcerer like him should be able to defend a castle like this easily. Legend has it that a master builder was once hired to come up with a visually appealing way to divert water from the roofs of buildings. He thought to himself, why don't I put statues on the corners of the roof and let them get rid of water the way you, get rid of water? The idea with the peeing statue didn't meet much approval, and they forced him to change his design. He was very angry about the whole thing. That's why gargoyles today look like they're constantly throwing up. Doesn't look like rain, thankfully. A storm is the last thing I need in a place like this. In an old building like this, falling masonry is probably an occupational hazard. Wonder if that's why the position of Igor was open. Stone's fairly flat, maybe some sort of roof tile. Yeah! Big white maggots. Okay, if we must. Ew! I'd say that coach hasn't moved a metre since old Van Buren's day. Several spokes are broken. Yes! Ooh, there's a small tree growing out of one of the seats. I wonder how many owners this castle had before Van Buren. Too bad it's so run down. Soon it'll be nothing but ruins. Nothing but weeds and trash everywhere you look. The Count really does need some urgent household support. Time to make myself useful as the new servant. On the other hand, I'm not the world's best gardener and should probably leave well alone. The castle is way too big for one person. Why do all rich people always buy buildings like this and live in them all alone? As the rooms the Count uses are so dilapidated, I wonder what the others will look like. Oh, fine. Lovely. Ooh, scary people. I can't tell if these are relatives of the sorcerer or the Count. The only certainty is that these are some of the creepiest faces I have ever seen. But they look somehow generous. Ooh, scary people. I can't tell if these are relatives of the sorcerer or the Count. The only certainty is that these are some of the creepiest faces I have ever seen. But they look somehow generous. A small wood stove like that can't even begin to heat such a huge building. Here in the hallway it's exactly the same temperature as outside. This stove reminds me of the one in my classroom in Seastone. It had a broken pipe too and it was pretty useless. However, this one looks less pleasant. How many candles must have burned here to leave a pile of wax that big? Or are those magic candles that have been burning for decades? Ah, if I need a load of candle wax, I know where I can find it. The castle really needs to be dusted. But, seeing as how it would be my job as the servant, I think I'll just keep quiet on the subject. The Count probably got tired of always having to clean the mirror. Very old mirror. Except for a few dull spots, it's in good nick. Very old mirror. Except for a few dull spots, it's in good nick. Hard to believe how high the ceiling is in this hall. The chandelier chains disappear into the gloom. You can see eyes blinking way up in the dark, and you can hear the occasional squeak. I think those are bats. The Count probably hasn't noticed them yet. I can hardly imagine him allowing bats in his castle. From the outside, it looks as though the castle has at least 5 or 6 floors, and old castles often have cellars and dungeons too. Judging from the outside, I'd say at least 5 or 6. And old castles like this one often have cellars and dungeons too. A lot of work for just one Igor. The only footprints on the dusty stairs are from Miss Kiki. Doesn't Count Orlov ever visit the upper floors? Does the Count stay down here the whole time? I should have a look around down here. The stairs don't just lead upwards, they also go down into an impenetrable blackness. Dungeons, tombs, all kinds of things that I don't want anything to do with could be down there. The stairs don't just lead upwards, they also go down into an impenetrable blackness. Dungeons, tombs, all kinds of things that I don't want anything to do with could be down there. A heavy wooden chest with 7 seals. 2 of them are open. Could be where the book is hidden, but it could also contain the Count's well-protected underwear. Either way, there's no sign of how to open the 5 remaining seals. There are some pretty strange characters here in the gallery, but this one really takes the cake. A very unpleasant-looking fellow. He looks evil, arrogant, and more than a little bit crazy.
Ah, there you are, Igor. Prepare dinner for my fiancée. And set the table with all the trimmings. We want to have a romantic meal before withdrawing.
My name's Wilbur.
My servants are all called Igor. Igor, his father Igor, his grandfather Igor, and his father too.
Whew, you certainly had a lot of servants.
That's why it's too late now to get used to a new name. I'll call you Igor. I would even give you Igor's old suit, if I had it.
The villagers told me that the mad sorcerer Ashcroft Van Buren used to live here.
That is correct, until he was hung, drawn, and quartered. The wizards and paladins didn't do things by halves. Just quarters. They took everything that was of interest or value to them. They left the rest here.
Was there a book amongst the things left behind?
The Sorcerer's Diary. Yes, I found that a few months after I moved in a secret desk drawer.
No, I mean, more of a magic book, you know, with incantations and such.
No, not that I know of.
The large chest in the hall looks like it's been there a long time. Is it yours?
Van Buren had it built, but now it belongs to me. The painting up there is of him. The chest and the painting are the only things the mages wanted to take with them, but they couldn't. Both are bound to the castle by powerful magic.
Ooh, so there must be something important in there.
I don't know. I've only been able to open 2 of the 7 seals.
Maybe that's where he kept his spellbook.
Is it valuable? The young ladies are getting ever more demanding these days, and my new line of guano skin cream for the man of the world hasn't done quite as well as I hoped.
Master, maybe I can help opening the chest for you. I'm good at that kind of thing.
If you wish, as long as it doesn't clash with your other tasks. I want to be sure my little bunny rabbit is properly pampered. Here, the Sorcerer's Diary. I was able to open the first 2 seals with the help of this.
Thank you, Master. Do you know much about werewolves?
Not particularly. Us and them, we don't get on. Normal wolves, yes. They're the children of the night, and I like standing on the balcony of an evening, listening to them singing. But werewolves, poor souls that have been cursed and can feel nothing but primitive anger and hate.
Is there any way to get rid of the curse?
Of course, quite easily. You have to kill the werewolf that cursed you in the first place.
And if you don't know who it was?
Then you can only hope that a friend pumps your head full of silver.
No way! And what may I serve you and the young Miss Kiki?
For the young lady, a rocket salad with vinegar, oil, and strips of chicken breast. That's what young ladies eat these days. Nothing for me, thank you.
Not even a little bite?
Maybe later. Until then, I'll make do with a glass of red wine.
As you wish, Master. I'll go and find the chef and order the salad.
I don't have a chef. I normally order out.
But I can't cook.
How hard can it be to make a salad with vinegar and oil? Make haste, Igor!
Very well. Count Olaf, Master. I saved your fiancée in the forest. She was thrown from a horse and lost her way.
The poor child. What luck that nothing happened to her. I've been waiting for her for so long.
I heard you've been married a few times.
Many times. Unfortunately, I've never grown old with any of my lovers. I am cursed. I'm forced to try again every few years with a new young woman.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm really sorry. Master, this scroll was in the postbox.
From Seastone. Archmage murdered. Wanted, blah, blah. Nothing of any importance.
Are you sure?
I'm not interested in politics. Kings and archmages come and go.
Yes, you're right. No reason to burden yourself with such things. There's a picture of the Archmage and me on the cover. Even if the Count isn't interested in politics, he's not likely to let a wanted murderer work for him. He would hand me over to the Van Burens if he noticed. Count?
Yes, Igor?
What was it with Igor and his uniform?
Your predecessor, Igor, made himself at home in the cellar, Igor. He had a bed, a desk, all his belongings. I think now you're the new Igor. It is all yours.
And Igor's uniform?
It will be amongst his things. Go and have a look. But be careful. It's dark down there.
I could take a candle.
I don't think that's a very good idea. They are attracted to light.
They?
Things that live in the darkness. Igor had due respect for them, and never dared go down there with a light.
Perhaps the uniform isn't important after all. If you'll excuse me, Master, work calls.
Make haste! My little honey bunny has gone upstairs to take a bath, and could come back down at any minute.
What is upstairs?
Nothing of interest to you. Your place is down here. And tomorrow I'll show you the cellar and the crypt.
I can hardly wait.
Let's talk more work, Igor.
I think I should get on with my job. The Count doesn't like chatty staff. The Count's got an awful lot of energy for an old boy, but he's as pale as a corpse. The Count seems to be a wine lover. Red wine, to be exact. Seems to me the Count doesn't need a servant for his wine. He refills the glass himself. Luckily, the scroll rolled itself back up. Otherwise, the Count may have spotted that his new Igor is wanted for murder. Are these just decorative plates, or can they be used? Nate once ate fried potatoes off of the Queen's face in Elfborough. Ivo's mother was not amused.
Igor, be more careful.
I didn't do anything. The plate just flew off the wall.
I've lived here for 10 years. Castle Orlofstein has never been haunted.
Weird. I find it odd that Count Olaf bought a castle in the dark woods. Most old people love the heat and the sun. There's not a lot of either here. Maybe he burns easily. This is the table I'm supposed to serve dinner on, with all the trimmings. A few days ago I was a professor of magic in a magic school, and now I'm Igor for a count in the middle of nowhere. The table is pretty old and covered with stains. Won't be good enough to impress the Count's fiancée. A lot of the stuff in this castle looks like it's never been used, like the china cabinet. Maybe the Count is like me, uses the same plate and cutlery. That way, there's less to wash up. Cutlery. No, nothing of interest. Incense? Not something I really expected to find in a place this old. On the other hand, maybe the Count also noticed that it sometimes smells a little mouldy and musty in here. Incense? Not something I really expected to find in a place this old. On the other hand, maybe the Count also noticed that it sometimes smells a little mouldy and musty in here. Ooh, the space here isn't just brighter and friendlier than the entrance hall. All the candles make it a lot warmer too. Not bad, but something is still missing.